introduction of speaker for the topic entitled Clean and Renewable Energy. Our next speaker is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Geology in Mapua Institute of Technology in Manila. She graduated and landed second place in the licensure exams for geologists in 1991. And she also took her Bachelor of Laws in Manila or Manuel L. Quezon University in Manila, and she graduated and passed the bar examinations the same year of 2003. She's affiliated since 2009 to present with the National Geothermal Association of the Philippines, Safety and Health Association of the Philippines, Energy Sector Incorporated, and from 2010 to present, she is also affiliated to Renewable Energy Subsector Network or ASEAN. From 2011 to present, she's with the International Renewable Energy Agency or IRENA and Expert Group on New and Renewable Energy Technology or APEC. Our dear speaker has been in the energy sector for over 20 years. She started her career as a geologist in the Energy Research Laboratory of the Department of Energy, doing paleo-environmental and stratigraphic analysis of areas in the Philippines with potential energy resources using microfossils. When she became a lawyer in 2004, she was reassigned to handle contracts and negotiation for all types of energy sources. She focused on renewables in 2011 and was appointed to her current position as the Assistant Director of the Renewable Energy Management Bureau of Department of Energy in the Philippines. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pride to introduce to you our speaker, Attorney MARISSA P. CEREZO.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. First of all, I would like to thank CamSur Chamber of Commerce and Industry for this invitation in order to give you an update on the topic clean and sustainable energy at this third CamSur Construct Expo and Conference. Clean and sustainable energy would always include exploration and development of renewable energy resources. In the Philippines, we have practically all types of RE resources, and we can easily remember them in this acronym Big Show, which stands for biomass and biofuels, geothermal, solar, hydro, ocean, and wind. We have been utilizing these resources, specifically biomass, geothermal, and hydro, for power generation many years ago. But in 2009, when RA 9513 came into force, interest on RE development, including solar and wind, and even ocean, has increased and kept on increasing. It's because the law mandates the government, led by the Department of Energy, to accelerate the exploration, development, and utilization of RE resources by providing fiscal and non-fiscal incentives to RE developers. And since RE resources are indigenous, the law also aims that the Philippines achieve energy self-reliance and hence reduce dependence on fossil fuels. And also, since RE is clean or generally does not emit carbon dioxide in its generation, it can contribute to a cleaner and healthier environment, thereby mitigating the effects of climate change. Now, in pursuit of energy security and sustainable future, the Department of Energy has set its goals and objectives. In 2011, we set a target of 35% RE share in the generation mix by 2030 in our National Renewable Energy Program, or NREP. In view of the increasing number of RE projects, we would like to rewrite this target to 50% by 2040 or to dominate RE share in the mix by then. In this target, we believe that it will result in energy security, in sustainable development of our country, mitigation of climate change, capacity building, and overall inclusive growth of our economy. In 2009, or as of 2019, projects from renewable energy development have created almost 170 green jobs. Further, increased utilization of renewables have caused or has caused the reduction of CO2 emissions by 17 million tons. And these projects from renewables has provided the government investments of around 200 billion pesos. While some of these positive impacts came from RE systems for own use and net metering, the major contributors are actually from large scales or utility scales. From 2009 to 2020, the additional RE capacity installation has reached to more than 2.3 gigawatts. As we can see in this table, the topmost RE type is solar, with a total installed capacity of more than 1 gigawatts, or almost half of the total additional installed capacity from RE development since the effectivity of the Act. It is followed by biomass at 550 megawatts, then by wind at 409 megawatts, and then hydro by 263 megawatts, and lastly, by geothermal at 82 megawatts. In view of the attractive legislative infrastructure for RE development, the Philippines was touted as the second best investment destination for renewables in Southeast Asia. It is reported by Business World in April of this year. So what are these policy issuances that have created a positive investment climate in the country? In the implementation or crafting of new policies to support RE development, the Department of Energy is guided by the following general principles. Number one, we are committed to develop and utilize our RE resources without sacrificing the achievement of our national energy security. Number two, we focus on the resources that are readily available and extend all the necessary support to encourage and promote their developments. And three, we are currently giving special attention in increasing geothermal energy development, which is both baseload and indigenous. So what are these policy mechanisms or policy issuances? We have RPS or Renewable Portfolio Standards, Green Energy Option Program, Green Energy Auction Policy, enhancement of the net metering arrangement, and feed-in tariff system. We have also embarked in the development of 25 competitive RE zones, and we have recently conducted the third open and competitive selection process for geothermal and hydro resources. On feed-in tariff system, which is the first policy mechanism that we have implemented under the law, this is a policy that provides the RE developer a fixed rate guaranteed for 20 years. As we can see here in this table, almost all RE types are eligible to apply for FIT, except for geothermal. Each type of RE resources has their corresponding installation target and fit rates in pesos per kilowatt hour. As shown in this table, wind, solar, and biomass with installation targets of 400, 500, and 250 respectively have already reached their targets. On the other hand, hydropower has still a balance of 103 megawatts in its installation target of 250. While ocean, with an initial installation target of 10 megawatts, was deferred in view of the absence of a reference project to set the tariff rate. Now, considering that RE technologies have become more competitive, we gradually shifted from FEED system to RPS, or Renewable Portfolio Standards. Here in this policy, the mandatory participants such as DUs and electric or ECs, or distribution utilities and electric cooperatives, are required to secure a certain amount of RE in their electricity sales. This mechanism will help achieve our goal of reaching 35% RE share in the generation mix by 2030. We initially set a minimum of 1% annual increase in RPS until 2030. However, recent simulations suggest that 1% annual increment is insufficient, and this must be increased by 2023 to reach the aspirational target of 35% share by 2030. Green Energy Auction Program. This is a new policy issued in 2020, which is designed to facilitate compliance of RPS by mandatory participants through the conduct of auction of RE capacities from qualified RE suppliers. The Green Energy Auction Program, or GEAP, is held or will be held annually, and the first GEAP is targeted to be held in October 2021 with an initial capacity of 2,000 megawatts. Next is the Green Energy Auction or Green Energy Option Program. Green Energy or GEOP. Green Energy Option is a voluntary policy mechanism that allows end users with 100 kilowatt and above demand to source their electricity supply from renewable energy sources through RE suppliers. This is a non-regulated activity as it is optional. But this policy empowers end users to contribute in the development and utilization of RE resources in a least cost and sustainable manner. Next is the enhancement of net metering program. The net metering mechanism enables end users to sell their RE generations from small RE systems to the grid as prosumers. This is typically illustrated in rooftop solar panels of our residential and commercial facilities. They can install up to 100 kilowatt to reduce electricity bills and sell surplus to the grid. Under Enhanced Net Metering Program, end users in off-grid areas may apply as well, thereby providing demand-side management for the end users in this area, as currently it is only applicable in grid areas. And for net metering, we will be issuing a net metering guidebook. Next is the competitive Renewable Energy Zone project. CREZ project is a proactive transmission planning approach that supports investments in large-scale transmission expansions and upgrade to accelerate not only indigenous RE resources, but other potential energy resources. Potential sources of energy such as biomass, geothermal, and hydro um, were also estimated in these zones. And from this project, we have identified 25 individual zones with high quality solar and wind resources across the Philippines. Lastly, as early of this year, we have conducted the third open and competitive selection process for geothermal and hydro development. This is a mode of awarding RE service contracts to developers, and this is a sort of bidding well-characterized sites or areas with significant technical studies to facilitate project development. As for our way forward, in addition to close monitoring of the implementation of all those policy mechanisms, we are currently engaged in conducting offshore wind development study to attract more investment in this area and facilitate the development of wind in offshore with around 60 gigawatts potential capacity. So with all these plans and programs to accelerate the development of renewables in the country, we believe that we are gearing towards our goal of having a clean and sustainable energy future. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Attorney CEREZO, for that great learning and very beneficial lessons about clean and renewable energy. We come now to our question and answer. The first question is, what are the possible causes of delay in geothermal development and the government's strategy to increase power generated from geothermal? Again, the question is, what are the possible causes of delay in geothermal development and the government's strategy to increase power generated from geothermal?
Thank you. Good noon to each and every one of us. Geothermal energy resources is very significant for Bicolanos as we have big potential of geothermal energy in this region. One of the major causes of development of delay in the development of geothermal is not only the cost in technology, but also the cost in implementing the project. As you may know, the determination of the feasibility of or whether the geothermal resource is feasible or not, it would take more than 5 years to do it. And the reason behind is mainly due to tedious permitting process. Actually, the developers are required to secure permits from concerned agencies such as DENR, NCIP, and others, and it is quite difficult to secure these permits. But recently, the government, we have a new policy or a new law. I think that was 2019. This is the Energy Virtual One-Stop Shop Law, which requires all agencies of the government to facilitate the processing of permits, particularly for energy projects, not only for geothermal. Now, specific to geothermal, what are our strategies to increase its development? Just recently, since geothermal is defined by the law as a mineral, the Department of Energy has a set parameters or uh, or conditions for determining whether foreign companies can be allowed in developing geothermal resources, considering its capital intensive requirement. We we just recently opened up the development or the applications for foreign companies by defining what is large-scale geothermal resources. Also, we are intending to make geothermal as an eligible RE resources uh, for must or priority dispatch in the grid. As you may know, since it's not eligible for feed-in tariff rates, it's not given the priority dispatch. But we are exploring new policies to provide priority dispatch for geothermal. So with that, with those policy innovations, we hope that we'll be able to attract more investors. As you know, the government is not putting any amount. No, we are not um, are mandated to, or we are not allowed actually to invest in RE projects. That it is very risky. It is uh, it requires, of course, a clearance from the house, no, in all your in all our utilization of budget, and it's not really allowed. We are not allowed. So we only provide uh, policies that would encourage private sectors to invest. So we are continuously innovating, and we hope that we will encourage more investors in Japan.
Thank you, attorney. The second question is an interest of the whole Filipino community. Ito po napakaganda. We are very rich country. Napakayaman po natin sa renewable energy sources, but bakit nai-experience pa po natin yung mga brownouts and power outages?
Oh. Yeah, it's really a very frequent question actually. We are very rich, and kahit noon pa, we are dubbed as the ano ba yun? Pearl of the Orient, the richest country in the Far East, di ba? Richest in natural resources. And yeah, the reason behind is we know that RE or renewable energy resources are not transferable. You cannot transport the steam. You cannot transport the water. You know, we develop our plants where we found them. Maybe the only transferable is biomass, but logistically, to make your biomass project feasible, we set a rule of thumb that the feedstock sources must be within 50 kilometers from radius from the power plant. So practically, it's not transferable. We can only transfer the power through the wires or grid. And that's the very purpose of the CRES project, the competitive RE zones, where we need to identify areas or zones of potential of RE resources, or where RE resources have their highest quality and good amount or high amount also. And with given given the wires that are in place strategically, we can optimize the utilization of renewable energy resources in the country. It's really challenging because as we know, pulo-pulo kasi tayo eh. We are 7,640 na po yata ang ating isla, dumadami. At because of this challenge in interconnection of lines, may mga areas tayo na oversupply with power, just like Negros. And may mga areas din naman tayo na undersupply or kakaroon ng maraming brownouts. So with a good planning system for transmission, augmenting or upgrading our lines, transmission and distribution lines, and with good policies to attract more investors in developing renewable energy resources, we 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 believe in the Department of Energy that as we put up more renewable energy resources in a more efficient and optimized manner, we'll be able to bridge the gap where the power is lacking. So, dadating din tayo dyan, ma'am.
Opo. Thank you, Attorney. So, good planning and policies para sa ating mga resources. Tatandaan po namin yan. Third question, Attorney, is that there are issues on land competition on renewable energy development. What are the current policies we have to ensure that we don't sacrifice food production over power generation?
Okay. Actually, in particular, we have these two RE resources where it is very, kumbaga, makain siya sa lupa, no? We have biomass or biofuels and solar, no? They require vast tracts of lands for the projects to be developed. And we don't want that our food production is being compromised. We know that both are important, no, for us to move our economic development. But of course, we want to make sure that our food, which is our basic need, is not compromised. So from the very start of our development or implementing the projects in renewables, we have this sort of protocol with concerned agencies such as DA and DAR in identifying areas that are considered open for energy projects or energy development. And since it's not easy po to convert agricultural lands to industrial lands, kasi that's the requirement before you can proceed to your project in energy. More interests are now coming in for solar projects in rooftop and also in the surface of bodies of water. So may mga floating solar systems or solar facilities po sa mga lakes and dams na may mga interest doon kasi there's no need for land conversion. Walang land, di ba? And with that, tingin namin more we can pursue our mandate to accelerate the development of renewables without compromising or without affecting food production as we shift or divert our development to non-land-based projects. Yun po ang advantage actually ng renewables kasi it's scalable. And isa pa, as the innovation evolves, it becomes increasingly efficient while the price is going down. So marami pa pong mangyayari sa RE sector. Thank you.
Opo, thank you so much, Attorney, for squeezing in your very busy schedule this speaking engagement of yours with us. It's a great pleasure to have you with us, Attorney. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, our dear speaker, Attorney MARISSA P. CEREZO.